days, I can hit a 1 foot drive.
Welcome to the 1 Foot Drive podcast. We're back for another week. Mike Szabo, Andy Duvall, Tony, Iannone. This week, we're going to recap a little women's PGA, the Travelers, a signature event. We're going to preview some stuff, Rocket Classic, some Live Dallas. We're going to review our picks, see who did what, and what our current standings are. Player versus Pretender, and the AD Weekly. Gentlemen, how we doing tonight?
Very good.
Fantastic, Michael.
Excellent. I know Tony and I up in Buffalo, we are battling some adverse heat for us. It's almost 90. I know I have retreated from the garage into my basement, and I think Tony is Tony's stuck just taking it full brunt of the heat up in his attic, so nowhere else to go.
All winter, we beg for this weather. So I can't not just embrace it, right? We just got to embrace it. Here we are. I have a couple extra sweat stains on the shirt after
tonight. You'll sweat right through that bad boy tonight. I like it. I like it.
Absolutely.
So for Duvall, this is just another day, and he's down in Florida. It's his temperature every single day, so yeah, he doesn't even break a sweat anymore.
Yeah. I break a sweat.
Can you see my glasses are literally fogging up already?
That's fantastic. So this could get to be an interesting pod. We could, as we go through it, Tony could lose clothing items. Who knows what he'll look like by the end of this thing?
Hashtag Love Island.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it. Let's try to save Tony some sweating. Women's PGA Championship, gentlemen. Min Ji Lee -4. She hung on to win. Congratulations, Duvall, on picking the winner. Wow. Another one. He's on a streak this year. Jump on his picks, everybody. He is hot.
The Travelers was a decent week for me as well.
Yes, it was.
Week for me as well.
Yeah, you may have had two guys fighting it out, and you won either way, so that was good. Little Keegan Bradley took down the Travelers, -15. Captain Keegan. But to the ladies, the weekend, the weather, the wind picked up. They were at Frisco. And just, Duvall, I'm sure you recorded it and you're just watching it back. You got carnage, baby. I mean, my pick, Gino, was winning after Friday night, and she played the weekend at +7 to lose by 5 strokes and finish tied for 4th. So you go and shoot the weekend +7, and you still finish top 5. That's how bad it was at Frisco.
Wow. Yeah, I think it was 3 ladies under par. I think it was like -4 and then 2 at -1. And the 2 at -1 actually played some pretty good golf the final day. I think they both shot a couple under par, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, geez. If you shot even that last day, you just soared up the leaderboard. You just made leaps and bounds.
Yep.
The wind played very tough, which they thought there might have been a chance for that. The PGA, I don't know. I don't know if they reacted well with their setup or not. Frisco's, the greens are firm. We had a fair amount of ladies taken to the mic to openly be frustrated. Let's put it that way with the course setup, knowing it was going to be windy, knowing that on some of the par 3s, they just played them too long. Like they're coming in with a club that's never going to hold. With the greens and the wind and everything like that, and they just felt like the setup wasn't too realistic. So I don't know if you guys saw anything on that with the comments on the course.
Just another week of a tough golf course, and people getting upset that when they're shooting over par, and that's kind of how it works out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was I think going into it when we chatted, it was a lot of the green complexes out there are. You land it short or you miss, short left, short right. It's funneling way down. If you miss them, especially the par 3s, if you start missing par 3s and the wind's blowing out there, it's either hopefully you hit in the bunker or it's gone. And that's kind of what you saw out there. I mean, there's some pretty big drops. They made it relatively fair. I mean, the last day they had I think it was 15, the drivable par 4. I mean, there's a ramp in behind the green. They were landing it on the green. It was running 7 to 8 paces off the back of the green and coming back down to basically flag high or just past flag high. There was a bunch of 2s and 3s there. They moved up, I think 17, if I'm not mistaken, which was the par 3. They had some short irons into that, even with a downwind. So, yeah, it was, like we said, it was going to be a tough test, I think. And the wind, anytime you put wind out there, like we talked about it, if it's raining and it's wet, they can play in that, right? Like when it's raining, really, you want to play a couple extra yards or something or whatever for knocking down in the wind, whatever. When you're playing into the wind or for the rain, when you're playing into the wind, you don't have any idea how far it's going to fly. You don't have any idea what the wind's going to actually do to it. So it makes it a lot more difficult. I thought it was a great championship. I mean, I watched a little bit and then I watched some of the highlights, and there was a lot of good golf being played and there was a lot of poor golf being played, but that's what happens at a major. I mean, we saw it last week at the US Open. It's just how it is. So.
Nope, I agree. Tony, any thoughts on the PGA?
No, Andy said it really well. Nailed it.
Awesome.
I didn't get to catch much of it, so thanks for the update.
You're good.
It's all done.
Yeah, so Andy, a twofer at the Travelers. Keegan Bradley minus 15, and Andy with a second correct pick winner. And I think he was sending us some cash out options. He was getting excited. He had his first cash out, maybe. So did you take it? Did you not take it? Did you ride the lightning? What did you end up doing?
So I took the cash out on Tommy because it broke. I basically took off all risk for the week. So I put in a certain amount, whatever, and then I just I didn't know Hard Rock Bet doesn't let you cash out mid-round.
No.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'll cash out Fleetwood, and then I was gonna kind of see and it kind of played out that way. Henley birdied 1, and Fleetwood bogeyed 1. So I was gonna kind of see where it was early in the round, and if it got to 5, 6, 700, I was just gonna cash and not risk the extra 3 or 4 because it was 1,000. I think it was $1,000 or something, and I was screw. It was $10. It was a $10 bet on Friday night. So, they didn't let me do it. So I was like, what's going on right now? But it is what it is. I got a nice sweat. Henley made a 50-footer on the last, if I'm not mistaken, to get into 14, and then making Keegan have to make that. Both of them actually have to make to be able to win. So I'm happy for Captain. Don't get me wrong. I think he's going to be a playing captain. But,
really?
Cash is always good. Oh, yeah, I think they came out with something that said Seth Waugh wanted him to be a playing captain like Arnie was back in the day. He'd been the first one. So I think that if he just kind of does his thing, he's going to be on there. I mean, I'd pick myself if I was playing that well. He's got I think he's tied for third for most wins in the last 2 seasons. He's got 4 wins in the last 2 seasons. I mean, I don't know how he's not up there anyways, but the guy's playing good golf. He's a little slow. Other than that, maybe pair him with Rory and see what happens. Who knows?
Or Miguel Jimenez.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, touche.
Yeah, they could get a little. Wow. So you don't think he would step back even though he's playing really well? Because there's a lot of responsibilities you have as a captain. And do you think you would be totally kind of get your game ready for something like that if you're doing all your captain duties and all the pressers? And there's a lot of extra responsibility on your shoulders for that.
He's doing pretty well right now, man. There's a lot of lead up to it, and he's got everything moving in the right direction game-wise. So maybe he's freed up because he's able to, kind of take his mind off it, and he's doing some other stuff. But,
maybe.
I think if I'm in his shoes, I'm taking the selfish route. And, especially after a couple years ago, or a couple Ryder Cups ago, or last Ryder Cup or whatever it was, where he just basically got hosed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he got overlooked for what? Spieth and Justin Thomas or something who couldn't make.
It was
Spieth, they were shanking
JT,
it.
and Fowler. Yeah, it was Spieth,
Yeah, they're
JT,
all
and
shanking
Fowler.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all really good friends. Let's pick these three.
Yeah.
Don't worry about winning. Yeah, let's.
I mean, if he wasn't the captain, he's definitely a pick, right? Like if Tiger was the captain or something, he's definitely on the team.
I agree with that. I think he's got to be on the team. I think he brings too much. I think he brings too much fire. I think he brings too much. The energy that he has, and he's probably great in the locker room. I mean, he's pretty laid back. He wants to win. I mean, look at the look this guy gives on a wedge shot on Thursday. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're at a Ryder Cup. This guy's going to be staring down the barrel all day long, picking euros off. So it just is what it is. I'd have him on my team
for sure.
So,
what do you think, Mike?
What do you think, Mike?
No, I don't think he should play. He should just do his captain duties. There's plenty of guys that can do it. He's a little over the hill. I think it'd be too much. I like Keegan. If he wasn't
captain, though, you would like him.
I think he'd automatically qualify.
Right.
I think he's got enough points to qualify with his wins and his victories, so he would be in. I think it's really hard to do both. So that's where I would say do one or the other.
Was Tiger the last playing captain?
No, I think Arnie was. I don't think Tiger's ever been a captain.
He never did?
No.
No, he got asked. I believe he got asked this time, and then he said no, and he went to Keegan. Mm-hmm. I think that's what happened. So now I think there's like a petition to go Tiger. Maybe I don't think so. I don't think he's been a captain.
Him being a playing captain for something. We'll have to fact check that.
Yeah.
Who's that? Tiger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a President's Cup. No.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think Tiger ever went to President's Cups. He went to like one or two, and he's like, it's not worth my jet fuel. I'm not going back. I'm not going back to that.
I don't know about that. I almost
like the President's Cup a little more. I mean, not the vibes obviously aren't quite as the Ryder Cup is, but I think the golf is a little bit more. I don't know. I think you get to see a little bit more variety of players and styles of players and things like that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it opens up international, right? So you just don't have.
You know the Euros.
Yeah. So.
Got a bunch of Rorys going over.
Like that when Tom Kim made that putt at the President's Cup, like that was sick. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I love the team golf aspect. I think they're both fun to watch. I mean, I don't think the international team has any. I mean, it's kind of a foregone conclusion when it gets up there. But
when are they going to have like a 3 meet, international, Europe, and America?
I don't know how you play matches that way. It'd be tough.
It wouldn't be match play, right?
You'd lose the match play aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you couldn't play foursomes. Yeah, you couldn't really play like foursomes and 4-ball on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I don't know how that would work.
I mean,
kind of like a Zurich Olympics style, where you have like
you just play different format and then team up, and you just take total points.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that's like what high school golf, college golf. You just bring everybody together.
Stroke play,
yeah.
Just the format would be different.
Yeah, I mean the blueprint for it is out there already.
Yeah, I mean they could definitely make that happen. I think they lose. Yeah, but then you lose like.
Liv has a blueprint out there, boys. Team golf. Duvall said he loves team golf. Liv provides team golf.
With the individual?
The high school, it's the high school format. You got your team and your individual.
I'll give you that.
There you go.
Interesting.
Well, speaking of Liv, they're teeing it up in Dallas this week. Marido. I don't even know if I said that right. Marido Golf Club. Just north of Dallas by Fort Worth Airport. Par 72, 7,500 yards. The boys are back. We know the field. They got millions of reasons to show up every time, so we know the 45 guys that are playing or however many there are. Weather looks to be interesting. It's going to be 97, 98, 98 down in Texas. It'll be a little warm for that'll be humid.
Dry heat though.
Yeah, dude,
Dry
they
heat.
don't
dry
get the
heat.
humidity, right?
Yeah, dry heat.
I think it'll be a cool watch. They got a drivable par 4. It's like 337. The guys will be bombing it, try to get on. They got I think it's number 12 was like 475. It played hardest before as far as strokes over. And then I'm interested to see they got a 655-yard par 5. I wonder if Bryson or any of the boys, Bryson's going to be he's going to have every YouTube camera, 8 different angles, a drone, practice rounds. He's a resident of that area. He lives pretty close, I think. So he's going to be eating that up, trying to get home in 2. And not only get home in 2, but maybe try to hit an iron for his second shot would be kind of wild.
I mean, if it gets downwind and firm out there at 96 degrees and it's dry air, I mean, these guys are going to be banging it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the ball's going to go forever. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they got, they hit it 350. Yeah, they can definitely get home if they keep it in play. So,
yeah, trap a little 3-iron or 4-iron. Run it. But, yeah, it's not like it just turned 98. It's Texas in the summer. It's been 98 for probably a month down there. So the ground's got to be rock hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like they're –
I mean,
all of a sudden, it's not like Buffalo right now.
The women were getting some roll on their T-balls. And, I mean, they don't – they're not getting the speed and stuff getting out there. So it's like they're still picking up 30, 40 yards of roll. So, I mean, you get one turned over downwind. I saw this week. It can bomb. So it'll be fun.
I don't think I have it with me. Do we got to go through the exercise again of how many LPGA players hit it farther than you do?
we can go through
I don't have my list with me right here, but we went through that once before. So I think there's plenty of speed out there on the old LPGA Tour. It's gaining by the minute, gaining by the day. We have a young lady at our club. She's getting it out there almost 285, 290.
Ooh, that's going to be tough.
She's going to be going to play a little D1 golf. She just signed, so pretty exciting for her. But, yeah, she bombs it, so the speed is there. So that's Live Dallas. We also got the PGA Tour Rocket Classic. So we got a major, we got a signature event, and then we got the old Rocket Classic at Detroit Golf Club. And all your star power is saying bye-bye. There's not too many guys in the top 20. That'd be a good opportunity for some guys to get some status, maybe break through with a W. Par 72, 7,300 yards. Defending champ was Cam Davis, minus 18 last time they played there. Any thoughts on the Detroit Golf Club? Anybody ever play it?
Haven't played it.
No?
Pretty familiar with the old Donald Ross designs, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I think we all know what to expect here. Small greens, I think. Looks like a bomber's paradise, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of runoffs. You can bang it out there. It's definitely going to be runoff all around the greens. It's one of those spots where you got to hit it in the right. You'd think it's not super long, so you'd think these guys would take it pretty deep. I mean, 18, yeah, definitely that's low, but
that's like the. How do I put this? Every year, other than last year, it's been in the 20s, I think.
Yes.
So
pretty sure I saw that as well.
Maybe weather or something.
Yeah. I think it's same weather they're gonna get as last year. I think it's like rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or something. So it's gonna be kind of soft, from what I understand.
Probably spinning all over the place out there.
Yeah. I don't think that rough is too penal either. That like super bomb and gouge type of place, it seems like.
Yeah. I can see that.
7,300 yards at par 72. There's you can just bang it if there's no rough. I mean, it's going to be a bunch of wedges in, right? So
for those guys, it's going to be very gettable. I would think. Just
there is a 635 yard par 5 out there. So number 4. But other than that, seems pretty gettable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like there was only one non-driver hole, like where you really can't. I want to say 14 maybe, but other than that, and then the 18th is kind of an awkward tee shot, but everybody still bangs driver.
Wow, that's just going to be
church pews. I think they got.
That'll be sweet. So if they get some rain, as Tony alluded to before at Oakmont, it'll widen the fairways. The only thing that'll keep the scoring down is if they get the old mud balls. If it gets too soft, these boys will get the mud balls, start going sideways.
There's not a lot of water out there, so.
Sorry, boys.
So that just hit me anyway.
Fly.
Somebody tell me what creeping bent grass is.
Creeping bent grass.
Yeah,
it's just a strain or type of it.
I never heard that one.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's like that. I mean, if you want to go into the exact DNA of it, I'll have to look it up. But it's like Crenshaw bent, creeping bent. There's 1,000 different blends, and most of the time courses pick it for what region of the country they're in. If it's a transitional area where if you're like in Virginia, Carolinas, you want a transitional grass. If you're in the north, you like the Poanas and some of the bent. And then if you're where you are down by the sun, you just got to go with Bermuda.
You just let Bermuda rip.
Just whatever grows, basically. Some type of TIFF Bermuda or whatever they do now. A cool little tidbit with the event this week. They're playing the North Course, which will close after this event for renovations. And they used the South Course hole number 1 as the 3rd hole for this tournament.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty cool. So they play 17 holes from the North Course, and then they weed in number 1 from the South Course. So it must be a routing thing or a media thing or a whatever. I'm not sure why they do it. Didn't find that on my research. And then this is part of the Open qualifying series. So another reason for some guys to try to get in. So you guys familiar with what that is?
Yeah. You go write it down, though, for those who don't know.
Yeah, let us know.
Super easy. Basically, the 2 non-exempt players that finish the highest get a ticket to the Open Championship. So they have a series of qualifiers that they do at different events and try to give the guys a little something extra to play for. Not that $1.7 million for first place is reason enough, but status is everything for these guys,
I know that's always a big deal when they go to John Deere. That's like one of the big storylines. But I didn't know that they do it for this one too. That's cool.
Yeah, last chance.
Yeah. It used to be John Deere and then the Open.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now it's the Scottish.
Well, yes, but also the John Deere, right?
All the guys that have status already go play in the Scottish because they want to go over and get acquired to the time change and everything like that.
I just remember like the guys who won there in the past were like Sunday night won, and then they're like, oh man, I got to get my passport and I got to be on a plane over there for like Monday morning so I can get over to the British. So
I think more recently John Deere's provided a jet. For the guys that are playing in the John Deere, because a lot of the top names won't go play John Deere just because of the logistics to get there. So what John Deere did recently is that any of the guys playing in the Open, as soon as you finish, we charter a jet. You can hop on with you, your family, whoever, and we'll take you over.
Man, do you think it's like the live plane that they had the first year where they had like the bar and lounge,
the DJ,
like dance floor, the dance floor in the back,
30,000 feet, just letting it rip. I don't see what's holding them back.
On a 14-hour flight.
We can only dream. We can only dream.
Imagine.
That's great. So let's recap some picks, boys. We already went through Duval's success. I mean, for the Travelers, top 5, he had Russell Henley, who finished second, so that's a W for Mr. Duval. He had Bradley, who won for the top 10. His next 2 picks did not make it. Bud Cauley, you almost had 3, man. You were 1 stroke. Bud Cauley, T25.
And it took Adam Hadwin just absolutely blowing up on the weekend.
Yes.
To not be inside the top 40. I mean, he had to, like, he was like T6 after Friday or something. He was like,
yes. He ended up T57.
Come on, man.
So you were almost a 4 for 4. But 2 for 4, not too shabby. Tony Morikawa, 2 tied for 42nd. Griffin tied for 14th. Mike Kim tied for 42. All didn't do it for him. And Harry Hall, T9. Tony got a top 40 pick. Me, I had Auberg, just picked poorly, T36. Novak, picked poorly again, T30. Gerard, I don't know what the hell you're doing, tied for 54. And then my boy Gary Woodland, he pulled me through for a top 40 W, T36.
Yeah, right at the end of the week. The whole week I've got him on my leaderboard.
Yeah,
and I'm
like favorites.
looking up and I just see Mike's favorites, the bottom 4 all like T40 or worse. And I'm like, that cannot be good.
No,
it was a struggle. It was a struggle, Michael. It's okay.
Not at all. So that was the Travelers. And then for our ladies, we all know that Andy had Min Ji Lee. She won it. So that's a check mark.
Let her cook.
Let her cook. Tony went with the favorite, Nelly Korda, T19. Sorry. And I had Gino tied 4th. That was a W. Our top 20 pick, everybody missed a cut. Ingrid, Henderson, Yanni Sen all missed a cut. And then
Yanni.
And then our low PGA. Yes, Yanni.
No,
there's another major to pick her. There's one more major. Come on. She can do it. Just write me in now.
You might have 2 more, actually. I think you have 2 more.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, they played 3 so far, so 2 more.
Yes,
2 more tries with Yanni Sen. Yes.
I might pick her Yanni before you next week.
Yeah, I don't
Whatever
think so.
She's in there.
I might just go for favorite.
Yeah, it works out great for me every time. So.
I mean,
low
I would
PGA.
fade every one of your favorite picks. You.
Oh, me?
That's what I've been
no,
saying.
Tony.
Can you
Tony.
reverse bet things?
Picks are like, I'm going to take Rory. He shoots +10.
Yeah. Anytime I make a pick, you bet him to miss the cut. That's what I would do.
That's genius. I'm going to start doing that. So a public service announcement for everybody listening to this. Sometimes knowing who to pick is important, but knowing who not to pick is also equally as important. So we're providing both of those things for our listeners. Amen. You are welcome.
Amen.
Two-way.
Our LPGA, PGA low player. None of our ladies made the cut. Joanna Coe was the closest. I had her at +11. Natalie was +16, and Duval, who played but realized he didn't play with Ashley Greer, was +25. At least she wasn't. An amateur or something.
I did not play with Ashley Greer. I played with a different one. I realized it afterwards.
Yeah. So that was our fact check. So our standings through 2 weeks with our new format.
Tony. Tony's got the white towel out. Dabbing.
I had to lose the glasses, man. I couldn't see you guys.
We're going to be accelerating this show. Keep Tony alive. You need a fan. Do you have at least a fan? I know you don't have air conditioning.
All right. The boys go short this week.
Yeah.
The boys go short this week.
Tony, heat stroke.
I got a lot of fans.
ECMC.
They're just not here.
Oh. So our standings, gentlemen, with our new system after 2 weeks, Duval is 5 out of 11 for a 45% hit clip.
That's ridiculous.
And he has 2 winners. 2 winners.
Ridiculous.
Boys.
Strong. Jump on some AD picks. Myself, I am 4 of 11, 36% hit rate, no wins.
Solid.
And Tony is 2 of 11, 18% hit rate, 0 winners.
I mean, what's a good what's a good sports bet or what?
I have no idea. What a good handicapper
or something?
25%.
Yeah, like, what is it?
These handicappers, I think if they're like 40 to 50, it's like 55%. It's not that
right?
much.
I mean, for golf, it's got to be even lower, right?
I
to
would
pick
think.
winners at golf, that's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty talented. So speaking
Thank
of which,
you. Appreciate that.
let's get into this week. Let's start out with the Rocket Classic. Duval, our top dog. Who's your favorite to finish in the top 5 or win? Rocket Classic.
I am gonna take Patrick Cantley. Yep, that's my boy.
They're not using the clock this week.
No clock.
No,
so he
no.
wins.
Boys
He's
are
a
going
shoe.
real short.
He's a shoe in. He's a shoe in.
Life moves a little slow around Detroit.
That's funny.
Oh,
Tony,
Lord.
who do you got? Favorite top 5?
You know, I was gonna go super scratch.
Yeah,
of course,
but he took it from you.
No. I was thinking about
Keegan.
Morikawa.
Yeah.
But after berating this guy last week and absolutely breaking him down, I feel like I gotta put some faith in Mr. Wyndham Clark.
Oh, wow.
Let's get him back in the mix. Come on.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to make mine short and sweet. Guy's been playing well. Another solid finish. Griffin, taking him top 5. So top 10, Tony, you're up next. Who do you got? Top 10.
I'm gonna go with Rasmus Højgaard. A little deeper, but
it is. That was going to be my top 20. Højgaard.
Playing well, man.
Save my money and don't do anything with that guy.
Mike,
if we've learned anything. For my top 10, I am going to pick a guy. He holds the course scoring record for this tournament at 262.
Tony Finau.
You got it, Mr. Tony Finau. Welcome to the team. Duval, top 10. Who do you got?
I am going to keep it in the family, boys. I am going to take Min Woo Lee.
Yeah, that was my other guy.
Brother.
Sister, brother.
Sister, brother.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that was my other pick. Good work. The other guy I didn't take that I thought may have a good
17
chance.
more on the list. That's okay.
No, I only have 3. I have 3 in each category. Cam Young was going to be my other one. I was looking for a bomber. He's been playing well. Might hedge a little cash his way, even though he's not going to be an official pick. So that'll lead me into going first for top 20.
Yep.
And I'm going to go with Matt McCarty.
Ooh.
I think this is one of those events where he could showcase his skill. It's, non-signature, non-major, just run-of-the-mill tour event. I think he's going to be super relaxed. That's my guy, Matt McCarty.
Is that double C? MCCATRY?
Pretty positive. A-R-T-Y? M, little c, big C.
Okay. Thank you.
So that puts us back to Dave All, top 20.
I'm going to take Chris Kirk.
Wow, that's a blast from the past. I didn't know he had status still.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he's playing signature events.
That's because he won that Dominican or Punta Cana or whatever. He won something down in the Caribbean. Yeah. He won something down there to keep his status. Or was that the Honda, the PGA National?
I can't remember.
He won. I think he won that a while ago. I mean, I think Chris Kirk's won like every year, I think, for the last like 2 or 3 years.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken, I think 2 years ago he won like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I remember when he went on that heater a few years ago.
Not too long ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, you guys are what are you guys doing around here?
Definitely not playing the course, though, I would say.
No. What do you mean? The guy drives it dead straight and he hits his irons like a damn champ and he putts it lights out.
But you don't really have to drive it straight.
No,
that's the point.
He's going to be 2 irons behind going into every green.
Yeah.
Guys, listen.
He's going to be hitting 7 where guys are hitting wedge.
you keep doing your thing, and I'm gonna keep doing my thing.
Yeah. Why do we doubt the
keep
king?
rolling.
Well, I picked
You
two
just
people.
like.
All right. That's why I love these percentages. They'll eventually,
They
come
will.
back to the mean.
The guys played pretty poorly this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, he had a T12 at the U.S. Open. I mean, it can't be that bad.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Like, what are we doing?
All right.
Player pretender.
Chris.
Tony,
so
top 20.
yeah,
Who
I
do you
was gonna
got?
say, I'm going back to the well. I'm taking Harry Hall here.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
Harry
you are.
Hall.
2-driver Harry.
All right, that puts us back to top 40, back to the top of the batting order. Duval.
Ooh.
Who do you got for top 40?
Boy, this is
somebody ranked over 100 in the world is our criteria for this one.
I'm going to take a past winner.
Oh.
A guy that has not played very well, but he's back at his spot. Nate Lashley.
Nice.
Nate Lashley. That might be one you boys want to fade. Everybody out there, you may want to fade, but
horses for courses.
It's what we do. He always seems to figure it out there.
Mm-hmm. Tony, who do you got?
No.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering if Andy knew where he's
Duval,
from.
do you know?
I can't remember where he's from, but I played with him way back in the day out in Arizona, and then he did his thing. He's got like a wild backstory with like family, and like I'm pretty sure his parents passed away, and like it's just a wild story. So he's just a journeyman that just plays golf on the PGA Tour and has status and does his thing. You know, everybody's dream. Everybody wants to be world number one, but the guy that's just playing every week and doing his thing, and
want to be Russell Henley.
Exactly.
What was that? What was that Kisner quote where they asked him, "Why would you show up for an event that you don't think you could win?" He goes, "Well, they pay a lot of money for 20th."
Yeah.
Speaking of that one. Like, I know you said there's not a lot of firepower or star power in this field, but I do feel like a lot of there are some good names in this field who have been playing the past 3 weeks in a row, and I'm kind of surprised. Like, do you think there's some little money going on backdoor here to get some of these guys in here?
Probably that and status for Ryder Cup, status for FedEx. I mean, they see a week filled without Scotty, and it's like, oh, here's my chance. Everybody wants to go sign up because Scotty's not playing. But I don't disagree. I'm sure there's always a white envelope for an appearance fee off the books.
I'm also interested to think too, like, does somebody like Morikawa want to take 2 weeks off before the Scottish? Like, does he want to be like, hey, I'm going to play Rocket Mortgage, good golf course, whatever. If Scotty's not there, the whole deal. And then, I mean, he's kind of a shoe-in. He's going to be a Ryder Cupper, right? I mean, he's more likely than not. So, like, I mean, it'd be hard. I would be pretty blown away if he wasn't on the team. But, I don't know if 2 weeks off leading into a major to go over to play links golf and stuff is maybe what's going on. But then again, I don't really know. I've never done that before. So,
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting with the stretch they've had to get.
I agree.
This is usually almost like a B-list type of event. They've got some decent names playing. So,
I mean, go back to the PGA. I mean, that was mid-May. It's now mid-June, and they've played some pretty solid golf courses leading up. So, week in, week out. So, I don't know.
Well, I will stop beating around the bush here. I'm taking Chris Goddard for my top 40, by the way.
I got to tell you, I really like that you stick to your guns. You got your horses and you just run with them. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Just kind of
Mike's the same way. I mean,
he's going to keep hitting on 17 until he wins. Let's keep hitting on 17. I'm going to win some point.
That 4 is going to come. That 4 is going to come, baby.
Throw me another one, Romes.
I am. So my top 40. I got his name written down, and I only wrote his last name down. I couldn't write his first name down because I realized the immediate error that I made. I had Fowler. I was like, I can't do it. Can't go Ricky Fowler. I had Justin Lower.
Yep.
He's getting closer to be on my radar. He keeps making my scribble every week or so. So I got my eye on him, but I'm going to go, since you guys didn't do it. He loves the course, and this is the type of event that is perfect for him. Mr. Harry Higgs.
I was
Let it rip, baby.
Too. Yeah, I love
Let it rip, Harry. This is the type of event where I may put a little money for Harry to lead after day one. It just always, he might come out and just shoot 60-0. If he's in the morning wave on Thursday, I don't think they have tee times out yet. If he's in if he's on the morning wave on Thursday, I will probably put a little something on him to be the first round leader. And then hopefully I get a cash out Friday or Saturday night before he implodes. But this is one where he should do pretty well, I think.
I just hope he takes his shirt off again. That's all I care about.
That's great TV.
His boy Hubbard's in the field too.
Yeah.
So they team up for a pairing. They should put them together.
All right, so that's a wrap for Rocket Classic. We got Live Dallas, boys. Live Dallas. We're going to pick somebody to be in the top 10, somebody to be in the top 20. It's a 45-player field. Dealer's choice. Really no limitations on this one, so I expect Tony to take Joaquin and Bryson more than likely, but we'll see what he picks.
I get the first pick. Oh,
wow. Why not? Let's do it. Let's just 14, for the humor of it.
14 weeks in, let it fly, buddy.
Yeah, let it fly. Your top 10, Tony. Who do you like?
I'm taking John Rahm.
Ooh.
All right. Michael, you can go next.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yep.
What a gentleman.
Tony, just splash some water on yourself.
We haven't ruled out a bunch of guys for Mike. This is tough for him. We gotta.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I know. That's why I like going last. I can start. Rahm. I scratched him off. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go off the books. I'm gonna go Carlos Ortiz.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, good. All right,
he's a Texas guy. He's been playing well. Had a good Open.
Yeah, had a really good U.S. Open.
So I'm gonna go a little Carlos Ortiz. Duval, who do you got?
It's simple. Joaquin Neiman.
Oh my God! I can't believe you picked this guy.
The last time I picked a live event, he won. I mean, what do you want me to do? You want me to not pick him the next time?
No.
How many can he win? What's the probability of him still winning?
He's got 6 wins out there. I mean, it seems like it's his tour now. Everybody said
last week too, right?
They haven't played since before the Open, I don't think.
They won Right. He won the week before the Open.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I picked him then.
Promptly missed a cut, I think.
I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't his style of golf course, so it's
wasn't.
fine. No, absolutely not. So, yeah, I'm taking him.
I like it.
Tony, top 20. Who do you like?
Bryson.
No, I'm going with Thomas Peters here. Also had a pretty strong event before they took their little break here. So
he was in mine. He was in my look too.
Solid player. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna do Munoz, but if you guys are gonna leave me have him, I'll take Bryson. I'm not too proud.
I'm actually blown away that he was still there and Tony didn't take him. I give you a lot of credit, Tony.
I'm not too proud, but I like Sebastian Munoz as well.
I got it.
Okay.
All right, who do you got, Duval?
What I'm picking.
I'm taking Anaban Lahiri.
Nice.
I had Abraham Answer down.
Yeah, I did too.
But I don't like that it's in Texas. He struggles with that right to left ball
flight.
Who
did you say? Lahiri?
Yeah. Anaban Lahiri.
You could have had that as a player pretender. I don't know if I've ever heard of this guy.
Oh, man.
Where was his?
I wish my boy listened to this. I used to caddy with a guy, and he caddies for him out on the live now, and he's got one of the best loopers out there. But yeah, he's
where was his status before live? Was he a Euro or a PGA?
No.
He had DP and PGA Tour status.
Did he?
He had like a really small little success right before live started, and he just jumped right on it.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
I mean, he's gotten older. Like he's older too.
Yeah.
All right, I have to look him up.
Yeah, he was a DP player. Like he was a Euro for a while. Like
I have a PGA Tour win. I can't remember. If not, definitely a couple top fives.
If I look him up, I might know him to see him.
Yeah, he's what is he? He's I don't know. He's like, I don't want to say he's Indian, but he could be. Oh man, I can't think of what it is. I can't think of it.
Sorry.
Yeah, you could just leave it.
So it's Neiman. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
So it went Neiman. Who was your pick, Tony? Your first one?
Rombo.
And then Mike, what'd you have?
Carlos Ortiz.
Okay. All right. And then it's Bryson.
Peters and Lahiri. All right. Sounds good. Some other guys to watch. Sergio, he's a Texas guy. He could maybe do something this week.
I want to see what he wears this week. He's been coming out with some Ronald McDonald stuff. I mean, honestly, they had said this a couple of times, but he's come out with some pretty wild outfits.
Mm-hmm.
You know who might actually play really well there is Martin Keimer.
True.
Like windy, flights it well, like hits a pretty hard cut, and you know he won at Pinehurst, so like that kind of style, like all with the grasses, just kind of things like that. He's
a Texas wedge specialist, man.
Yeah, he is. He's one of those guys. So that might be a pretty fun watch. I kind of feel bad. I miss that guy. That guy, he was a stud.
There's so many guys on live that I really miss watching.
Yeah.
Well, they're on TV.
Are they?
You can still watch them. Yeah. It's on Fox Sports usually. YouTube.
Tony, we gotta.
I'm sorry. I tried. Have you watched live? Have you
watched it? Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Can you enjoy it in the same way that you do a Sunday PGA Tour event?
It's more of a DP type style, like broadcast. I feel like with the way that it is, it's not. The tour has their own way. Yeah, the tour has their way of doing things, and then
and they use all the words like when my son, he was big into F1 racing, so like they use all the same language, like on NASCAR. Oh, there's a wreck up in turn 3. In F1, they're like, oh, there's an incident in turn 4. So it's like totally different ways that they present it, right?
Very proper, proper.
Yeah, so I enjoy the broadcast with Liv. I don't mind it, but I don't really watch golf on the PGA Tour or Liv to hear what any of those guys have to say. I watch it more. I'm watching the guys swing. I'm watching their strategy. I'm watching more of that stuff. So, like when you say, how can you watch Liv? Well, I can because I'm watching for the same reason I watch the tour. I'm watching the guy's move. I'm watching what he's trying to do. I don't really care about the circus that's going on in the background. If you watched any of the past week at the Travelers, they had, like coming down the stretch, you had a bunch of ass clowns yelling bullshit every time somebody was walking or doing whatever. So how's that different than Liv? Liv actually might be more calm than that. It just has music in the background. So like, I don't know. I don't really watch it for that. I watch it, like I said, more of the. That's why I like really watching the LPGAs because the moves are so solid. Like you could pick up a lot of stuff. It's just like textbook. So I know I've said that before, and I was just like, man, his moves are so good. So
what I meant by that was more like it's hard for me to get my bearings I guess, because like I don't know a lot of the courses they play, and if you're watching a tour event, whether it's LPGA or PGA Tour, you see groups play a certain hole, and then the leaders come by, and then they play that hole. So you kind of get like a
Yeah.
preview of the hole, and then the leaders come and play that hole. Versus
Yeah.
live, it just feels like it's just so disjointed that it's hard for me to like get my bearings to be like, oh, this is what this guy is about to come up onto next, or I don't know
Gotcha.
if that makes
That
sense
makes
or not, but
sense. No, it
Yeah.
does. Yeah, because of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
shotgun format. You don't know as they're looping around everybody. Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. I get that.
yeah, I'm a bit of a course nerd too, so like,
Yeah.
I like to see how they play it and whatever.
Yeah. Very, very traditional. I
No,
like that.
no doubt.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
I enjoy that same thing, but just courses that I played. Like I just like,
yeah.
oh, he hit it 70 by me there, hit it 100 by me there. Oh, I got within 30 on that hole. I hit the car pad twice. Stuff like that. So that's what I like watching the
Like
courses that
Straka.
I play. That's why I like watching my favorite time of year for PGA Tour is the West Coast swing because I played a majority of those courses.
Yeah.
So when you go up and down the row with that, it's always a fun time for me. The
Yeah.
West Coast
Those are
swing.
beautiful courses too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott, Waste
Torrey.
Management, Riv, Torrey. They're all fun golf
Pebble, the
courses
whole
to
thing.
see. Yeah. I've never
Palm
played
Springs.
Pebble.
Palm
Palm
Springs down
Springs.
the desert. I love desert golf. Like
Yep.
Vegas, Palm Springs, any of that. That's awesome. I love desert golf.
Yeah.
It's a
Did
lot of fun.
they got rid of the Vegas event, or are they playing what did they play anything in Vegas this year?
I don't know. They got some bad luck with some wind a couple years in a row, and I think they lost a sponsor and just moved it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they play in
I
Vegas
can't
anymore or
remember.
not.
I know they have like the Stableford, which is like Reno,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, there's some good golf courses that they played out there. They played TPC. I think they played like TPC Summerlin. They played,
hmm
there's some really good golf courses out there. And it's Vegas, man. I like to see. You never know what's going to come out of Vegas when they're out there. You know what I mean? Like, what's the story coming out of there? So, but yeah, well,
cool,
I'll
guys.
give Liv another chance if I can.
yeah, find some time, Tony. Block
Yeah.
block a couple hours out of the schedule. Like, just give it a piece.
Will do.
Well, that wraps up our picks, our standings, and our recap for everything there. And that's going to lead us into our world famous segment. Everybody enjoys it. He's on it this week.
Yeah, he's
Tony,
quick
what
to
do
the
we
trigger
got
there,
this
buddy.
week?
I got it, guys.
We got 2
All
weeks
right.
in a row, Duvall. What do you got for us, Tony?
Yeah, we got a little Michigan themed player pretender here, just to remind our audience. We're giving the you guys 2 truths and a lie here. You gotta pick out the pretender. I give you 3 golfers. One of them is totally fictional. So let's start. Our golfer number 1. His name is Nolan Henke. Henke, born in Battle Creek, Michigan, attended Florida State. He won 7 tournaments, All-American 3 consecutive years, 85 through 87, turned pro in 87, made his tour debut in 88, won 3 PGA Tour events. First win came at the 1990 BC Open. 1991 won the Phoenix Open, finished 5th on the money list, and had 6 top 10s. His third win came in 1993 at the Bell South Classic. Best finish at a major was T6 at both the 92 Masters and the 93 PGA Championship.
Wow.
That is golfer number 1, Nolan Henke. Golfer number 2, Tommy Valentine. Competed on the tour from 77 till 88, earning over $300,000 in his career. Mind-blowing numbers here. 14 top 10 finishes. Best finish was second to Tom Watson in the 1981 Atlanta Classic. Valentine, not sure. And Watson were tied at the end of 72 holes. Watson won in a sudden death playoff. This guy's not originally from Michigan, but after he retired in '88, he took the head pro position at Lockmore Club in Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan. That is golfer number 2, Tommy Valentine. And golfer number 3, Craig Delaney. Played golf at Michigan State, earned all Big Ten honors twice. Turned professional in '86, played full-time on the tour from '89 to '96. Lone victory came at the '92 Deposit Guarantee Golf Classic in Mississippi. Edged out a young Phil Mickelson by 1 stroke. Best finished at a major was T12 at the '94 U.S. Open at Oakmont. And after retiring, returned to Michigan, became director of instruction at Forest Dune. That's golfer number 3.
Yeah, I think Delaney sounds familiar. Number 1, I'm pretty sure I know number 1 from dating myself back in high school. The first original like PGA Tour game that came out on a Nintendo or something. I think Henke's name was on there. I don't know why I remember that, but I think I remember him being on a leaderboard at TPC of Avenel.
How do you spell Henke? Henke?
No, I think it's A. No, you're right. Henke.
I don't know. Duval, you got anything?
I think I'm going with 2. Like, I almost asked if it was Valentine, if he was real or not. So
I just don't think I don't think the money makes sense. They said he earned over $300,000 on tour, and if he finished second at a major or whatever that was, I know the money isn't the same as it is now. But if he's on tour for that many years, I think the money was a giveaway on that one for me. That's what caught my attention. Was it didn't seem like the money made sense. But I'll rule with you, Duval. Whatever. I can't.
I think it's 2, but
yeah, me too.
I could be wrong. I mean, what are you gonna do?
We got a 2-week streak.
I think we're gonna go three in a row. We're on fire.
Let's lock it in, Deuce.
Number 2.
Number 2.
I am so sorry, boys. Tommy Valentine is very real, and Craig Delaney is totally made up.
Number 1?
3.
Oh, that's 3?
Yeah, number 1 is real. Mike's right on the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, right? How do you play on the tour for like over 10 years and only make $300K?
I mean, back then when you made the cut, you only made like $4,000 or something. So
yeah, never had a win. Never had a win.
Maybe. Like you look back to like some of Palmer's paychecks. Like I had a chance to go to Latrobe, and they had all his stuff out there, and like you'd see check stubs or whatever from the finish 48th and get $104. Or it's just wild.
Yeah,
some of the amounts, like what they're playing. I know there's inflation and they rob our money from us with it, but
yeah, I guess $300K, goes a long way in the 70s.
Yeah, I guess. That's a bummer.
Boys.
That is a bummer.
That's a bummer. Well,
effort.
Nice work, Tony.
Yeah, good work. We can't win them all.
Always a fun segment.
I was struggling this week. There's not a lot of golfers from Michigan with fun names.
True.
I always try and find the most interesting names sounding, and there was not too many there.
Yeah, as soon as you said it was a Michigan golfer, I started going through a Rolodex. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know nobody from Michigan other than Matt, our one guest. He was a Michigan professional.
Who's
but
the
other
most
than that,
famous Michigan golfer? Do you guys know?
Tony Jacklin. I have no idea.
A little older.
Oh, wow.
Much older, really. Hagen.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No idea.
The OG of OGs.
Yeah, really.
That is. I agree. He liked to have a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, he was always classic for showing up to the first tee and putting on a display like, oh, I was out all night. Oh, I'm still drunk. Oh, you want to double the bet? Oh, you want to, he was a gamer. He was a
go shoot
gamer.
65.
Yeah, claiming he was hungover and he had an hour of sleep, which, got to give him credit. He's got the game.
Hey.
Well, gentlemen, that takes us into our last segment. We were talking earlier about Martin Keimer. I think he had some ground contact issues in his short game, so he definitely uses the Texas wedge whenever he can. But a little AD Weekly. What do you got for us this week, Andy?
We're gonna talk short game here, boys. Honestly, we're keeping it. We're kind of running through this pretty quick, but I know everybody's coming into the season. We're midway through June. Tournament weeks coming up. We've got club championships and individual match plays, invites, all that stuff. I honestly just wanted to ask the two PGA guys here what your thoughts were on one, ways to improve your short game, and two, how you go about picking shots and why you decide to play those. So depending on, everybody has a go-to, right? Everybody has just one shot they like to play. Jason Day's the old, straight arm, dead hand, all that stuff. Other guys get a little bit more handsy, hinge and hold, all this stuff. Short game chef, Mayo, all that. So my first question was, when you're talking to a player and you're talking to your students out there, what's your go-to shot around the green? So if you just have a standard pitch, is it 56-degree wedge? Is it 60? Not a lot of hinge? Is it straight arm? All that stuff. So I kind of want to hear how you two go about just a standard pitch shot that everybody, you teach any player that you have from beginner to advanced.
Mike, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Sure.
I would too, because I know this is Mike's wheelhouse, and this is kind of part of the reason why I wanted to throw it out there, because I know that you two are both going to kind of go back and forth, and I want to hear how it goes. So
sure. So if I have a lesson come up and we're far enough away where we can't do a bump and run, right? So you're talking about a pitch shot, 10, 50, you got some rough to cover. You can't do the just bump and run with whatever one. That's my first go-to.
You've got some green to work with.
Yeah, you got some green to work with. I usually ask the player, do you have a favorite club that you use now? Right? Is there something that they're comfortable with? And then I'll check out their bag and I'll see which one of their clubs might have the most bounce. Most of the times it's a sand wedge. A lot of times some of the players don't know what the bounce is, or they just grab it off the rack and they end up with 3 wedges that all have 4 degrees of bounce or less. And it's like, you have no chance, bro. There's no chance. You got a 4-degree bounce wedge. Good luck.
I feel attacked.
Yeah, you should be. So bounces, for most players, bounce is their friend. So usually it's going to be a stock sand wedge that usually has their most bounce. Lob wedges tend to, in general, have less bounce on them. So it'll be the 56, 54. And I like to more like, I guess you would call it, like you said, Andy, more like a Jason Day, where it's more arms.
Lord.
Jesus, sorry.
There is a mute button.
You need a top off on that one, my brother.
Yeah, that's my bad, guys. Sorry.
Is that the call? Like, hey, I need another one. Bartender. So, and I like to commit the player to ball position. Like if you're going to have something that runs, play it a little bit back in your stance. If you're going to try to have something that's a pin that's further away from you. If the pin's close to you, move it up in your stance a little forward. I really don't want the player ever playing the ball in the middle of their stance. I think that's kind of a no man's land. Like, are you hitting it high or low? If you're in the middle, it's kind of like, which, there's a lot of moving parts in that. So for the most part, the more bounce, the better. The less hands, the better on just your stock pitch shot. And I try to teach them more of how to post up their weight, how to keep the club to the outside or outside the target line or down the target line. You can't rip it inside because you'll just hit it fat or thin because then you got to release the club to get it squared up, and that's a nightmare. So actually, it almost feels for a lot of players like they're cutting it or they're coming outside in. They won't because most players rip it way back inside. So if they feel like they're cutting it, they're kind of online back and through, and then it's a rotate with the upper body to keep the handle of the club above the club face. So it's kind of like just a little hold off shot, and that keeps the face nice and square, keeps it right on line, just pretty reliable, not a lot of moving parts. So that's the biggest thing.
Would you say that that's probably the shot, like regardless of being in the fairway or the rough, that's probably a shot that most club golfers or, whatever should be playing, say 75 to 80% of the time, if not more?
Oh yeah. And if not, using a gap wedge or a pitching wedge, depending on how far you got to go. I like a feel of, a lot of people use a clock, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I'm more of a feel player. So I'm like, feel like the club's waist high.
Yeah.
It may not be waist high, it might be shorter, but if the player can just be like, this feels waist high to me every single time, then that's a yardage. Okay,
Yeah.
feels shoulder high, 3/4 swing, right? So give me 2 different positions, then you grip down or have a standard grip, and then you could switch out clubs. So I try to start them out with waist high and either with the sand wedge, then go to a gap wedge, pitching wedge, even a 9-iron. So like if it's a 40-yard shot, pins in the back, you have nothing in front of you, just open the face on a pitching wedge a hair, take it back through nice and low, and it'll run back for you. Let the club do the work for you, because I'm big on, like, take the club that's going to give you the highest percentage to get it close most of the time. So like, you guys are saying about a Texas wedge. Well, why? Because a bad putt is better than a good chip most of the times. Same way with the short game. So if you're trying to hit lob wedge from everywhere, you got to practice a whole hell of a lot to get a lot of different scenarios and that timing down on a lot of different lies with a lob wedge in order to hit it like tight. But
yeah,
and it gives you a little more, like if you flub a lob wedge, you might not even hit it on the green. But if you're hitting a gap wedge in a pitch shot setup like I'm talking about, if you flub it, maybe you get 80% of the way to the hole and you still have a chance, reasonable chance for par. So whenever I talk about percentages, it's not so much on your good ones. Your good ones are going to be good. It's your bad ones or your mishits, getting them closer to that dispersion ring around the hole.
Yeah. So, and part of that was, and Tony, I'll give you this one. How many times do you play with an AM and you're out there, you're with a member, and they hit it into a spot where, yeah, they're probably in a spot that calls for a flop shot, that calls for something soft and high. They have no idea how to hit it, but they've got a 60-degree wedge in their bag, and they're going to go up there and they're just going to attempt it. They don't really have the fundamentals. They don't really understand, kind of where the setup is and all that. How often do you see that when you're playing, where if they were to just kind of take that standard pitch shot, and if they do hit it to like 10, 12 feet, they have a look, but unfortunately, maybe they don't make that right decision. They see it on TV or they see that.
Yeah. I mean, all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. What would you say to that?
I mean, what do you say to that? What do you say to that?
Nothing unless they ask.
Nothing really if we're out on the golf course. But if we're in a lesson situation,
if you were given a clinic, and I asked you that question,
it's
and
a
you're
playing
talking
lesson
to everybody out there, what would you say to that?
I would say, like, what it, if we're short-sighted, what is our main goal right now? Right, our main goal is to be putting on our next shot, correct?
Right.
So, the lob or the flop shot may give us our best chance to get up and down if we hit it really good, but it also brings in the big number, doesn't it? because it brings in this way, that way, over the green, whatever. So like Mike said, like really just what's the simplest shot I can play from here that I've practiced the most or hit the most, that's going to get me putting on the next shot. Because if you're short-sighted and your shot requires a flop shot, you've obviously made either a swing error or a strategic error.
Correct.
So take your medicine and get it on the green, and let's get the hell out of here, right?
See, like, and I say that about even like your scratch guys, your guys that are playing, you know, that are contending for your club championship or, you know, some individual event that they're playing, you know, whatever, state am, things like that, where it's like, I'm sure they have that shot in their bag.
Yeah.
But like, how many more birdies are you gonna, like, you're gonna make a birdie somewhere, like you're gonna make a 10, 12 footer somewhere. Like, why not make a 10, 12 footer kind of just playing that little open face, like you said, Mike, maybe moving it up a little bit, but still making that same swing and being able to give yourself an opportunity to, you know, I thought about it. I kind of brought it up. I played with a couple of guys this weekend and, you know, they were struggling to hit their normal pitches, you know, and they don't play a bunch of golf, but all of a sudden you see them off the side of the green and they've got their 60 like this. And they're taking a full swing. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, like look out. Like,
yeah.
you know, get behind them.
Now,
so it's,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Now there are exceptions to every rule. I just want to say, like, if that's your shot, play your shot, you know?
Agreed.
If you're a flop shot king, rock it, you know? I think where you get into trouble with that is like when you're in that pressure situation, when you're in the tournament, that adrenaline's kicking. And like yesterday I was coaching our 17U kids, and you know, whether they were trying to or not, a lot of those shots that they were trying to pull off, they're flying it to the hole. And it's like that there's so little room for error when you try and fly it to the hole with spin.
Agreed.
So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Go fire.
No, yeah, I was just going to say on that short-sighted comment you made with the am, and you watch them throw that lob wedge wide open. I love showing them that shot with a lob wedge, just with the other technique, where you don't really have to lay it wide open. If you have a lob wedge, it's already 60 degrees. It's designed to go the shortest distance in your bag. So if you just lay it down and you open it up maybe a smidge, just because the rough is going to close it up a little bit. So if you just open it up a smidge, grip it a little tighter, and just do that standard shot, you know, their eyes get this big when they hit it once and they're like, oh my God, it didn't go anywhere. And it's like, well, no, you don't. And it's a pretty square face. So your likelihood for a mishit is a lot lower. And if you do mishit it, you're going to get a lot more out of it. You know, and you can show them where you have a square face with a lob wedge and hit it like 2 feet in front of you. And that's just technique, right? That's not, you know, you stand there with a square face, take a full swing and hit it that far. Well, how the heck did that happen? You know, so there's a lot that you could teach them that way, just how to manipulate the club and things like that. Yeah. But just to have it stock and standard, as much as you can.
Yeah, I was hoping that that's what you guys were going to come back with and just kind of put it there, just purely based on, you know, everybody. Even if, you know, you guys are out playing, you know, you're doing whatever, it simplifies everything, right? Like you get into a spot where you're like, man, I have a tough shot. And we've talked about this. You're like, man, I've got a tough shot. And you kind of overplay the shot, right? You sit there and you're like, man, I got to open this up and I got to flop it. It's whatever. And you don't realize that if you just play it with a square face or you just open it up a degree, that all of a sudden that ball just kind of comes out dead and, you know, relatively soft without you having to manipulate anything that's really going on. Now, obviously the lie and everything dictates what's going on, but if you can just sit there and see that the golf shot is as simple as that because you know you're going to hit it relatively solid on a consistent basis, that gives you more that gives the player more confidence moving forward, you know, on those types of shots. So
the other thing I like to work on them with, especially in those short-sighted areas or when you miss the green in the areas, like a lot of guys will play, and like you're talking about, they'll manipulate the club. But what are they trying to do? They're trying to make it. Oh, I missed the green, so I got to make it. How many times you got to make a chip shot? Not very often, right? I guess none if you don't go for it. But like realistically, how many times you got to chip in? So a lot of the conversation is technique, and then it goes into the gameplay or the management of it. Is all right. Let's look at this pin. Where do you want to leave your putt? Your next, let's realistically think you're going to make it maybe 3% of the time. So 97% of the time you're going to miss it. Where do you want to miss it to leave yourself an uphill putt? Or you don't want to blow it by to leave yourself a downhill, side hill, no chance to make the putt, right? So a lot of that goes into where do you want to leave it for your next shot. I'd rather have a 5-footer uphill than a 3-footer side hill, downhill, just because you could be more aggressive, take some of the breakout on the uphill putt. So a lot of that goes into the management of it as well.
And I think
around the short game.
I'll say this, like with that management, being able to take a golf shot that you know how to control or you can actually, somewhat control is going to get you there more than, man, I'm going to open this face and if it doesn't come off perfect, it's not going to get there. That standard little pitch, or I'm just going to tweak it forward a hair and open the face just a bit, then you're good to go. So, I loved all that. That was great. I appreciate you boys. I hope everybody got something out there. It was,
I would take it one step further, and I know you took the bump and run out, but do you know how many players I've seen on the course just like not like just bump and run it? Like there's so many situations where that is like the play. Like if you're not adept around the greens or with a wedge, with a sand wedge, with a gap wedge. Dude, I had a buddy who used to shoot consistently low 80s, high 70s, and he used nothing around the green but a 7-iron. And he was a magician with this thing. And it was just soft hands, like putting motion. And we're playing pretty slow greens, public tracks and stuff. But there's something to be said. I think especially my generation, like we grow up watching golf on TV more so than seeing our friends and parents or whoever play golf. And I think we see these guys play these spinny shots.
Oh yeah.
And it's like the candy on the table. You can't not just want to go grab a little bit, right? Whereas like it's so simple. It can be so simple, I guess.
Yeah, and I also think like nobody just goes around the green and hits bump and runs, right? Like if you were to walk out and look at like men's league or look at whatever, nobody's going out there with like an 8-iron or a 9-iron or even a pitching wedge and just hitting little bump and runs. Like very few. More likely than not, most guys are dropping the ball in the rough with their 60 or their 56 and they're hitting like these little, soft, pitches here and there with that. And that's really the only club they ever play anything with. No, and I agree. Yeah. I'm that way. I fall subject to that as well, where I'm somebody who really likes to play. I've moved a little bit more to my 56 than 60 now, but like I like to play a lot of shots with my 56, mainly because that's all I ever probably practiced. Like, I'm going to stand out there and I'm going to work on my pitching motion, or I'm going to work on this. Nobody's going to stand there and hit 10 bump and runs to a hole and do that. I mean, very rarely. I mean, I give the guys a lot of credit. Mike is. I know, and I know you will. Like, that's the best.
That's 90% of my chipping game is the bump and run. And like
and Mike's probably the person I've seen chip in the most.
Agreed. He always has it like. He will scare the hole more than most, for sure.
And with the go ahead, Tony.
No, please.
No, I was just going to say, like, in a fun one, if you guys want to try this sometime yourself. So when I was teaching a lot and I would do the short game and we were doing the bump and run, there's a certain touch or feel, right? There's an understanding where how easy you can swing it and how far the ball will go, right? If you're using a 7-iron, an 8-iron, a 6-iron, whatever it is, it's a hard thing to grasp that, oh, God, I don't have to swing that hard. Right. And the ball's going to go forever. So a cool little thing you could do is grab a 4-iron. If you have a 4-iron in the bag anymore, I know a lot of guys have hybrids now, but your longest iron, a 4 or 5-iron, go on the fringe, You want to grip down a little bit because it's a long iron. Put your hands up a little bit and pick out a hole that's within 10 feet of you. And try to chip with that 4 or 5 iron and leave the ball short of the hole. And see if you can do it. See if you can hit it easy enough, make a stroke, a light enough grip and a light enough stroke to where you can bump and run a 4 iron and only hit it like 10 feet.
That's cool.
Just to get an idea for like how easy you can hit it. And once you start feeling that ball come off the face with that little easy of a shot, then you can go, all right, well, I'm going to go at that 30-footer now. And you just add a smidge little bit to it, and it makes it all the way there. So I like using the longest club in the bag to kind of develop some feel or touch. And then you go back down to the 8, and then you realize that you don't have to hit it as hard, because that's a lot of the times a lot of AMs will do, and it's hard to grasp that feel. So that's a little tidbit that I like doing once in a while, and I'm just want to test out the old hands, see how they're working.
I love that. Boy, I'll tell you, I was doing that the other day with a 56, where I was kind of like toe up or heel up, and I was trying to hit it to a short pin, and wow, it's hard to. It really is hard to slow your motion through the ball and just like be very soft and kind of 1-to-1 motion instead of like 1-2 back to the ball where you're because how do you spin it? Like you need a little bit of speed, right?
Oh yeah, so that's like, a whole different shot. You need club head speed to spin it. Yes, that's a whole different shot.
Even if I'm standing there with it toed up and kind of off my right toe, I'm just like trying to be slow to hit that shot, and it's such a struggle for me. Even with a 56, where you get a little bit of height on it, I'm just like, I'm not gassing it past the hole, but like it's coming off hotter than I want it to come off, and I'm like, oh boy, whoa. So yeah, that's a great drill. I'm gonna have to test that one out because that's interesting.
I'd love to see a video of your first attempt.
Oh God!
Yes.
Just first like attempt, unedited
to 10 feet,
unedited,
like 45 feet past the hole.
Goes rocketing
or
off.
I just chunk it a foot in front of me. Like I don't even hit the ball.
Ankle watch. Gosh. Gonna crush somebody on the green.
You know what? I'll get that. I'll get that for us.
Thanks.
I'll get that for us.
I'd love that.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Go.
Cool.
So, well, I appreciate the info, boys. Hope everybody enjoyed that out there.
All right. Well, gentlemen, do we have anything else for the good of the order? That's our show for tonight. Anything else?
No.
Good one, boys.
Another cocktail, quick. That's about it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. No Love Island update for me this week. I got caught up. Like I said, it's a family thing. Jack was studying. He's taking an elective over the summer, so he got caught studying a couple nights. I don't know. That was different than when I went to school.
Yeah, kids. Oh man, he's too disciplined. Man,
he's very focused. You know what I took as my elective my senior year was ballroom dancing.
What a treat!
Yeah, so I did that to try to meet some ladies. I figured there'd be some forced interaction. So that was
nothing like trapping a girl close to you. Nothing like trapping a girl. Jesus.
So here's a good story that I'll share with you. So.
You're gonna see Mike do a wall.
Ballroom dancing, pair up with a young lady. We would dance it for a few weeks, and so back in that day, at that age, I kind of had that attitude of I kind of did what I wanted to, kiss my ass. So I parked. I lived off campus, so instead of walking, I took my car. And I developed a system of just parking where I wanted to beside dumpsters. And basically, I was 10 steps away from the front door. I would get tickets now and then. They collected my glove box. But for the most part, I was unscathed until I got arrested. But that's a different story we'll get into another time. When they finally caught up to me. But, so, it's raining. Lord. It's raining when we leave class. And I'm like, hey, you want to ride? I'm parked right here. She's like, you're parked there? And I'm like, yeah, that's my car. She's like, yeah, I'll take it. It's pouring. So I'm like, all right, giving her a ride back. Hop in the car. And another story I'll tell another time is when I was in Atlanta on internship, my roommate was a bouncer at a gentleman's club. So fast forward to where we are now, we get in the car and her hair's wet. And what does she do? She pulls the visor down to check the hair, right? Well, wouldn't you know it, my roommate from Atlanta left a bunch of his gentleman's advertisement cards in the visor with ladies and phone numbers and the club and the whole thing. So like 50 of these things fell in her lap. And if I had a picture of her face looking at me and then my face looking at her, and I just started laughing, and I was like, yeah, they're my roommates. And she's like, yeah, just take me home.
Okay. Yeah, there's no chance.
So it didn't work out for me. Total backfire on the old ballroom dancing. Did not work.
Waltz on out of here.
Did not work. Nice one, Tony.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, shit.
So
Oh, my God.
that was my
What a treat.
short, long story. There's a long version to that. And there's many layers of the onion that you could peel back with that. But
Oh, that's great.
Man,
anyway, talking about different electives for different times.
unbelievable.
Made me
Those,
think of that.
you know what? Those cards seem to just show up every now and again nowadays too. So it's unbelievable.
Yeah, they're like those little foam popcorns or like glitter.
Yeah.
Glitter. You can never get rid of glitter.
No.
Yeah, those
Just,
cards.
You
Yeah.
unzip a bag or pop a box, and the next thing you know,
there's a gentleman's club card.
I mean, it happens.
It's unbelievable. So
God,
yeah,
such is life.
To run into 21-year-old Mike somewhere.
Agreed.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yep.
It was a
Have
treat.
good time.
Yes. It
That-
sounds like it was.
That I could guarantee. That
man.
I could guarantee. Anyway, all right, gentlemen.
Well, boys,
Another good week.
Yes,
Love
sir.
it.
See if Duvall can stay on fire with his picks.
Oh, yeah.
This week.
Have a good week, boys.
Cheers, Jen.
Try. But even on my best days, I can hit a one for a drive.